And the webinar is going to go for about an hour and a half, so grab a cup of coffee. You've got a few more minutes. And it's going to be video recorded, just like all webinars on NACHI TV. So if the phone rings and it's a job, schedule it, go. I'll send you a link to the video recording. You can watch it later. And I'll try to answer all of your questions. Or if you just want to talk about something before the webinar or after the webinar, any topic. Over here at where I'm in my webinar office at InterNACHI headquarters, and we're all getting ready for the big national convention for home inspectors. It's free, open to everyone. You don't have to be a member of InterNACHI, just come to the fair, register yourself, register a friend, bring a family member. It's at the fairgrounds in Boulder, Colorado, so it's family friendly. I mean, who wants to pay $500 to go to a convention in Atlantic City or Las Vegas? I think we're done with that. So all home inspector conventions should be free. I wouldn't go to any that where you lose money before you even walk through the door. Let's see. Mike asks, for instance, using PowerPoint program to design my own software, I save $400 or so to pay for it. I don't know how to use PowerPoint for your software. What I actually started off with in, it was a long time ago. What year was that? Long time ago. 20 years ago, 25, something long. I used to use Microsoft Word. And you could program Microsoft Word autocorrect to write an inspection report. And I did that for years. So what you do is you open up Microsoft Word. I mean, this is crazy, archaic way of doing an inspection report without spending a few dollars a month. You write up a misspelled word. And if you misspell that word on purpose in a document, the autocorrect will autocorrect it, and you could make it pop in like paragraphs of information, even pictures. So we would type in roof good, right, which is a misspelled word, and Microsoft Word would autocorrect it and enter paragraphs of information about asphalt shingle roofs being in good condition, how to maintain them, and illustrations and all that stuff. Why the heck would you do that? I mean, there's software out there that is really top notch. I mean, you just have to invest in a few things in this home inspection business. One of them is good software. There's some really excellent software out there, but just the basic software is probably going to make your life something worth living. Without software, I don't know how you're going to run a successful home inspection business. So someone says there's a bit of a lag. So go to webinar, adjusts the video to your internet connection. So I'm looking at my internet connection, and in my view, everything's pretty smooth, but it could be a little choppy. The audio should be coming through. The video might be choppy on your end. About that, Roger. Eric says, I'm using Spectora. Bought the InterNACHI library, and it was difficult to create a template using the library. Okay, so in this webinar, we're going to go over Spectora just a little bit, because I've learned Home Inspector Pro, I've learned Home Gauge, I'm going to learn Carl's 3D, Horizon. We just did a webinar with Horizon yesterday. But I just learned Spectora, so in this webinar, I'm gonna show you how I use Spectora to write a great inspection report and give you some tips. And I'm gonna release my, what's it called, a template to the public. So you can have my template if you want to. And it has all my narratives in it and some illustrations and things like that. And you may think it's stupid and throw it away, that's okay. Just the point of this entire webinar really is to help you become a better home inspector by sharing what I do to perform a home inspection and write an inspection report. So I'm going to release that template right after this webinar. I actually was supposed to release it before the webinar, but I got a little tied up. Sorry about that. So Eric, I'll release the template through Spectora if you want to. And I'm not even sure how to do that, but I'll try to figure that out. Okay, we got some more questions. Yep, Kenton Shepard, he wrote the world's largest library of inspection narratives, Eric, and thousands of narratives on how to write an inspection report, and that will help you write an inspection report. We call it narratives. It's really like your sentence, your written observation that you choose within your software to enter into your report. And Kenton pre-wrote a huge library, the world's largest inspection narrative library. And that's valuable. That could be highly valuable for some inspectors. Yep, Mike says that's what I'm using, Microsoft Word. Okay, so the questions can keep coming, but let's start the webinar here. So welcome everybody to NACHI TV. I'm Ben Gromicko from InterNACHI, and we do free online webinars for home inspectors every month. And they're free, open to everyone. You don't have to join InterNACHI to enjoy one of the webinars. They're live while they're going on, they're interactive. And in this particular webinar, I'm gonna give you some tips that I have to share on how to write a great inspection report. And I thought long and hard on how to do this well. And what we did was we went out and did a home inspection and they filmed me. And I'm gonna play that home inspection video for you. But I'm here live to answer any questions that you may have. Feel free to throw them in during the webinar if you'd like. It's a long webinar, 1.5 hours, but the webinar is recorded. All NACHI TV webinars are recorded. So if you need to go, no big deal. I'll send you a link to the video recording after the webinar ends, and it takes me a couple days to do that. I'm not that handy with technology. So let's begin with a couple tips. So at nachi.org/everything, let's see if we can zoom in. So it's nachi.org/everything. That's a really great web page for resources for your entire inspection business, but it's a 15-step checklist. And on step, you should go through all the steps. Step 11. Step 11 is about report writing and software. And we have some links here in a bullet point list of all resources that I wanted to share with you. So if you wanted software, I would highly recommend going to Inspector Outlet's software page. Those are vendors who have partnered up with InterNACHI and give exclusive special deals, discounts, recognition to InterNACHI members. So if you're an InterNACHI member, you get these special things from all the industry vendors. So I would go there. And then there's other resources, right? And so that's a good thing. The URL to write a great inspection report, I go to nachi.org/everything. And then in my report, I like to have in my mind 3 things while I'm inspecting and while I'm writing the report. I want to identify the problem. What's the problem? And I'm going to identify that. I'm going to figure out what the problem is in my inspection, and I'll put that in the report. And the second thing is, how bad is the problem? And then the third thing is, what's the recommendation? So I just don't want to report, I just don't want to tell my client during my inspection process all the problems in the house, right? And maybe how bad it is, and then not tell them what to do. So correction is recommended, is used a lot in my inspection report. Number 2, in relation to number 2, how bad is it? Most of my clients value that type of information. So number 2 provides contrast, which is the state of being different from something else in close association. or it provides a distinction, a difference between similar things. So if my report is just defects, all defects, with no distinction, my client may not understand, well, what's important and what's not. I just went to my doctor's today, and he gave me a checkup and told me all my problems, right? And then he told me what was important and what was not that important, right? And that's really, that contrast is really important to me, right? I don't know if a certain boo-boo is really vital or really critical or not, right? What do I need to focus on? And my real estate agents that I work with and my clients who have found their dream home, that's really what they want. They want to know what's really important. All of it is really important, but what do they need to take action on? And to answer that question, they have to have some kind of contrast or distinction. And I feel I'm fully capable of providing that information. So you may want to think about those three things when you do an inspection and when you write a report. And then NACHI.org/glossary is another really good resource, a tip for writing a great inspection report. The glossary helps you with that number two, how bad is it? Providing contrast or distinction between all the defects. And in the glossary, you'll find that there are different kinds of defects, and that's what I use. I use cosmetic defect, minor defect, major defect, and material defect. Material defect is the only type of defect that's actually mentioned in the standards of practice. The home inspection standards of practice tells you what to inspect and what not to inspect. It's the absolute minimum a home inspector is required to do. And material defect is that really big defect where someone's going to get hurt or it's going to have an adverse impact on the value of the home. And you're required. If you observe a defect and you deem it to be material, you're required to put it in the inspection report. All the other defects actually, they're not mentioned in the standards of practice, but most of your clients demand, hey, all the problems. Can you find a roof leak? You know, roof leak's not going to kill anybody. It's not going to have an adverse impact on the value of the home. It's probably fixable, but they want to know if the dishwasher's leaking. That's a defect. Major defect is something where you need to hire a contractor. Minor defect is like a dirty air filter. It's a problem that a homeowner can fix. And a cosmetic defect is a blemish, a flaw, something that's irrelevant, but I may put it in my report as an observation just out of courtesy. So to write an inspection report, you may want to think about those three things and using the glossary to your advantage. All right, so I see, yeah, Eric, yeah, Jeff, okay. So let's start the inspection. What I want to do is I want to go through a home inspection with you and show you my software that I'm using and how the inspection process and the report writing process and the report results itself are all connected to each other. So let's go right to that. Hi, I'm Ben Gromicko from InterNACHI, and today we're going to do a home inspection. And what I want to do is show you how I do a home inspection and how I write an inspection report. And the cool thing is I'm going to show you how I write an inspection report using my iPhone, because my software is on my phone. I'm going to show you how I take pictures and videos, how I create a summary really quick, and how I find defects for my client. Okay, so the first thing I do when I pull up during an inspection is, well, I'm here early, so I'm going to see if anyone is inside, and I'll knock on the door, but I'll get ready for my client to pull up just like I did, and I'll have my business cards ready and a big smile for a really good first impression. Okay, so let's knock on the door, see if anybody's home, and then we'll get to our equipment, like unloading my ladder and my tool bag, and I'll show you what's in my tool bag as well. Okay, let's go. Okay, so no one's home, but we have access to the property, so we're gonna have a lot of fun. And the next thing is I want to unload my ladder and set that up, because I want to do the hardest thing first, which is the roof inspection. And I know from the MLS and the information that I got from the real estate agent that this is a tile roof, so I'm not walking on the roof. I don't have to walk upon any roof surface according to the standards of practice, so I'm gonna stay safe. But let's say I wanted to walk on a roof, I'm not going to, because tile under my load is just gonna crack. So we don't want to damage the roof. So let's unload the ladder, set it up, let's grab my toolbox, and I'll show you what's in my tool bag, okay? Let's do that next. Okay, so I am in the back now. It's a safer place. So ladders are really dangerous. So I want a nice, safe place, nice, level, stable ground on which I'm gonna set my ladder. I've got the safety position, right? So you stand in front of a ladder, it should be about an arm's length away. So that's a good angle. And I'm gonna tie up the the top of the ladder rung to the gutter, just to make sure we have the about 3 feet above the gutter, just for safety. It's not windy. I'm not gonna use a drone or anything or binoculars. So this is a pretty safe installation here of my ladder, and I'm ready to go up. Again, it's a tile roof, so I'm not gonna walk on the roof surface. I don't need to, I'm not required to walk upon any roof surface, but I'm gonna get to the gutter's edge. And I wanna check out a few things. One of them is, I know that there's a fireplace in the house, so I wanna check out the chimney. I'm gonna add that section to the report. And I wanna take a look at any other vents that penetrate the roof. So I'm gonna set this up. I'm gonna grab a couple more tools. I'll show you my tool bag in the front of the house, and then we'll head up on the roof. All right, let's go. Okay, so we set up the ladder, and now we're in the front. And before we start doing the home inspection, I wanna show you my tools. So I'm wearing a few of them, really important things for the exterior and maybe the crawl space or basement or attic, my knee pads. And this is my basic tool bag. It's not much in it. It has my flashlight, screwdriver, voltage tester, GFCI tester, things that I use a lot. The other things that I may not use a lot of, I bring to the front door because I'm ready to go. I don't like to go from the house to the truck just to get a tool. So I try to bring everything to the front door because we're trying to manage our time and be efficient. And so one of the most important tools I have are my indoor only shoes. Because I respect other people's property and I don't want to be blamed for tracking in dirt. So I'll actually take a picture of this and put it in the report, or at least I'll have a picture of it. Got my FLIR C2 camera. This is about $500, pretty affordable. It makes me a better home inspector because it allows me to see things that other inspectors can't see. You don't need a very expensive infrared camera. These tools are the best. This is actually a gardening tool. It's a 3-tine hoe, it's extendable. And one of the tines I heated up and straightened out in order to poke things and move insulation, like at the band rim joist. So this helps me probe things and look for wood rot or damaged wood or rotten wood. So I'm on a deck here in the front, and with this tool, I could probably inspect the condition of the wood within like a minute with this tool. The other tool I have that I really like is the Hydro Shark. It's a moisture meter. They're hard to find, but if you want to email me, I can show you where to get it. And it's basically a little audible and visual indicator. As a home inspector, we don't measure things, maybe approximate the thickness of the insulation, but we don't measure like the relative humidity levels or moisture content or anything like that. But this allows me to determine whether something is wet or not. So I'll probe this in a carpet or in drywall. The other things that I have, well, there's a bunch, a big full bag of stuff to protect myself from breathing in nasty things in a crawl space or attic, PPE. Another cool thing is a guidebook for wood destroying insects. Anything that damages wood, eats wood. This helps me be a better inspector because it helps me remind myself what I'm looking at. And also it helps me communicate what I'm looking at. So if I wanted to communicate what I see in a more formal way, I can give this to my client as well. We can discuss what we see. And then I like this. This is a GFCI, AFCI combination tester. So I'll be using this inside. On the outside, there's no AFCI protection, so it's just my GFCI tester on the outside in the garage and things like that. But on the inside, I'll use my AFCI tester as well. There's a bunch of other tools I have. And let's see, I think I also want to show you my software. So here's my software, and it's on my iPhone. And I highly recommend buying software that works on a mobile device. So what I have here is Spectora. I use Spectora software. And what I want to do is take a picture of the front of the house and then get ready for the rest of the inspection. So let me take a picture of the front of the house. So I'm taking a picture of the front of the house. That's very nice. I'll use that photo and it'll pop right into my software, as you see. And then the inspection report starts with some details. And what I want to do is I'm going to go to the general inspection information, and in attendance, well, there's no one here but me. So I'm going to skip that. Let's just say that the homeowner's here and the listing agent is here. And then occupancy, the place is occupied and it's furnished. Weather conditions, it's sunny. And I sometimes like to take a picture of the sky. So I'll snap it real quick. That's easy. And then it's a townhouse, and it's that's it. So I have a client didn't attend paragraph here, which is really important. And I'll show you what it is. So it says my client didn't attend, and there's a narrative about when my client doesn't attend, they're missing out on a lot of things. And we actually love when our clients attend the inspection so that they can address their concerns. I can answer all their questions. And it's really good for me because I don't want to answer the phone call that they have, all these phone calls coming afterwards. I want them here with me, and I'm going to talk and inspect and teach them how their home works, how to maintain it, and how to save energy all at the same time. And when I'm done with the inspection, I'm done with everything. But if my client isn't here, well, I want that in the report to remind them that they made a mistake not being here. Okay, well, not made a mistake, but they lost an opportunity. Then I have a few other things that I want to slam in here in my inspection report, like what really matters in a home inspection. There are really 4 things that matter during an inspection. One of them is major defects, and those are things that I both observe and deem to be major, and things that may lead to a defect, like a flashing problem that may lead to a roof leak. I'm going to remind my client to read their book and to schedule their next home inspection. So while I'm here, I use that phrase a lot, while I'm here doing an inspection, I'm going to have my client schedule next year's annual home maintenance checkup. So not only am I making money now, I'm making money 1 year later. So schedule ahead. And those are the things I want in the report itself. I have a buyback guarantee. I'm going to include that, and I have a $10,000 honor guarantee. So I'm going to include that in the report. So I'm going to go back, and I know that I have to add sections. So down in my software, I have to add a section. What? Well, a chimney, because not every home has a fireplace with a chimney stack. So I'm going to add my chimney section, and there it pops in. I'm going to add another section, which is this monster here. It's going to take me another 10 minutes to do a detached garage, but I'm going to add that. And let's see if there's anything else I need to. Carport, attached garage. Nope. Okay. So I have all my sections. First thing I do is the roof, and then we're going to the fireplace, an exterior, basement, etc. in my software. I'm cheating because I'm carrying my work scope, my list of things to inspect. I look brilliant, I guess, because I have all this stuff in my hand, and I don't have to like remember what am I supposed to do next. It's like a cheat sheet. So I'm going to go to the roof, and what on the roof am I supposed to inspect? The roof covering, the flashing, the vent pipes, and the gutters and downspouts. Is there anything else I need to add? Well, if there was a skylight, I'd add that section, and there's flue gas vent pipes. I actually took a look when I was setting up my ladder in the back, that we have flue gas vent pipes, and that means I have a HVAC system that's gas fired. So next thing is roof covering. Okay, I have a little paragraph about homeowners' responsibility, because after I leave the inspection, it's their responsibility. And I have a couple other things like tile material, and I was inspecting the roof from the ladder, and then I can't see everything, so there's a paragraph about that, and I'll show you in the report. And I'm unable to walk upon the roof surface, so I'm going to add that to the report as well. And then this is the list of my defects, and this is basically why I'm here. I'm here to find anything like this, and all these defects are pre-written. And if I find exposed fasteners, which is a defect, I'm just going to tap it and put it in the report. But I'm going to wait on that right now. Right now, I'm going to take pictures of everything that I inspect. I'm going to then select the defect sentences or narratives, we call them, and then I'm going to do a video. So I'll show you that process. So let's go to the back. That's where my ladder is set up. I have my tools set up, and we have access to the entire place. I have my software ready to go. We're in the roof section, and we're going to look for defects. So let's do that next. Okay, so I'm on the roof. Not really. I'm up to the gutter's edge. This is very safe for me. If you don't feel safe on the ladder, don't go up, okay? I'm really excited because right in front of my face is a major defect. So right now, personally, like in my head, I feel like I've earned my money because this is a major defect. It's going to cost probably $500 to fix, okay? And that's more value than the cost of my home inspection, right? So that's my goal. How much value can I provide my client for the amount of money that I charge? And so I've already reached it. So I'm kind of having fun. So what I want to do is take a bunch of pictures. I'm going to snap like crazy. And on my iPhone, it's really great how they have it. So I just snap with my thumb. So I'm going to take about probably 20 pictures up here, and then we'll do some video. And then I'll show you how I write the report for the roof system. So actually right here is the defect. The tile is just destroyed. So I'm going to take a picture of just about everything on the roof in general with large pictures like that. But then I want to move in and get details. And I don't have time for arrows, so I'm just using my finger. And the gutter looks okay. So I'm going to zoom in a little because I can't reach everything. There's the hood vents. They look okay. I see a vent pipe from the sewer. The chimney stack is messed up. It's got a lot of wood rot. And when I go in the attic, if we can get into the attic, I'm going to look for roof leaks because it's so bad. That's a chimney stack and the gas vent pipe that we added as a separate section. And if the neighbor's out, I'm going to tell them that their gutter needs to be repaired. It's just filled with leaves and debris, so they're probably having problems with things. Okay, so now I've taken my pictures, right? Now, when I'm up here, I'm going to keep going. So I want to add the narratives to my inspection report. I'm going to write the inspection report before I step down. When I get down off the ladder, I'm done with the roof system, including the inspection and the report itself. So I have cracked roofing materials. And what I'm going to do is do a video of the cracked roofing material. And I'm going to talk. So we have major damage at the cracked roofing material. And we have several damaged tiles here. So this is a tile. It's damaged. I think somebody must have stepped on it. That's my only way of figuring out why this is damaged. It's my diagnosis. And there's a couple other damaged tiles. There's a damaged tile over there. There's a damaged tile there. There's a damaged tile up there. And it's going to cost several $100s. That's awesome. Okay, so that's my video. I'm going to put right in the report itself. And I have, let's see, material defect, structural defect, too close, old system. I think that's about it. So that's my major thing. So I took pictures and I took a video of the major defect that I have. And that video is going to be in the summary. And I'll show you that in a little bit. I'm adding comments about the factory built fireplace. I have a chimney flashing defect. I'm going to take a video of it. There's a flashing defect at the chimney stack. I'm going to use that video. And I can't reach the chimney. I'm going to say that as well. I can't get close to the chimney stack, but the exterior of the chimney stack is in poor condition. It's rotten and it's a major defect. We need a professional to inspect the damaged vent pipe of the gas vent next to the chimney stack. I'm going to use that video. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm going to come down. Okay, so we came down from the roof, and I just wanted to show you what I do with the software that I have to finish up the roof system. One of the cool things about this software is it reminds me, again, I don't have to be the most brilliant home inspector. It reminds me what it says, you're not required to walk upon any roof surface, stay safe, come back home. That's the most important thing. You want to come back home. Nothing's more important than that. And it reminds me also, most asphalt shingles may be used on a roof slope from 412 to 2112. And if it's less than 412, which this isn't, a lot of other things for low slope applications need to be done. I don't have to remember that. And I can just look at it. It's like a cheat sheet when you hold your software in your hand. So flashing, nothing wrong with the flashing except for the chimney, and I already did that. So that's good. Plumbing vent pipes, homeowner responsibility paragraph. The plumbing vent pipes were inspected. I can't reach all of the plumbing vent pipes, and I didn't find any defects. Gas vent pipes, there's a defect at a gas vent pipe damage, and I'm going to add that photo. So I go to my photo library, and there's the damage. So I just choose that picture, and I can put a little arrow if I wanted to. That's kind of cool. And that's it. So I go back, and I've done all those components or subsystems of the roof. And now I am to the, I did the chimney, did the inspection details. Now I'm doing the exterior. So at any point of the inspection, I can stop and do a summary with my client. If my client wants to review how's it going so far, in my software here, I have a little button that says summary. So we can go to the summary, and here are the videos that I captured and attached to each narrative. So here's the roof defect, right? And here's the summary video. So we have major damage at the cracked roofing material. And we have several damaged tiles here. So this is a tile, it's damaged. I think somebody must have stepped on it. It's my only way of figuring out why this is damaged. It's my diagnosis. So there's the other one, there's the vent pipe damage. So you could play a video or show your client pictures. Then there's the chimney flashing defect. We have the chimney exterior. The process again is you take pictures with your camera as fast as you can. Then you go back into the software, you select the defect, the narrative, that you want in the report, the recommendation, like I observed this defect, you select that and you attach a video. So you take a short video of it. All of your defects will be video based, right? You'll be selecting narratives in your report, but there'll be a video attached to the defect. And this is important because your summary is probably the most important thing your client wants from you. And your summary is now going to be video based. But right now, I'm going to just, I'm picture happy. So I take a lot of pictures. And the siding looks okay. I mean, there's some worn out areas, like that's worn out, and some worn out areas down there. The window well looks great. This is a huge, big window well, but I do not like the antique wooden stairs getting out. And the steps on the side, that's not to standard, not to code. The space between the spindles is large enough for a child to fall through. So that's a defect. I'm going to put that in the report. The condition of the deck is really bad. Oh, and my ID is getting in the way. There's a defect there. And there's really a lot of rotten wood there. And there's rotten wood there. And this downspout, I don't know where it goes, but whenever I see a downspout going underneath the deck, that's a bit of a concern because I don't know where it's discharging, and hundreds of gallons of water could be discharging right next to the foundation. This is an issue for me sometimes because whenever I see a lot of debris up against the bottom of a slider door or any door, especially an exterior door with a deck, this flashing area is critical. So when you see debris like this, that means things tend to puddle up. If it wasn't puddling up, there wouldn't be any dirt here. So things are clogging up and settling, and when it rains, I bet it puddles up, and this all gets wet, and this flashing area is a concern. So I'll go below here and see if I can see any indications of water intrusion. Yeah, I kind of like the siding, a little weathering, cosmetic blemishes, really, flaws. But the siding looks good. Light fixture. Okay, all exterior receptacles need to be GFCI protected. So this one is connected to a garden feature. I want to test this, but I'm not going to because it's an inspection restriction. You're not required to do stuff like removing things and unplugging anything. I don't want to mess this up. This isn't mine. So I'm just observing. Remember, a home inspection is a visual only inspection. It's like taking both hands behind your back and looking around. So this is supposed to be GFCI protected. I'm going to put it in a report as an inspection restriction. And I'm actually on steps with 1, 2, 3 risers without a handrail. International Residential Code, section 311, says 4 risers you need a handrail. But it's a good thing I'm not a code inspector. 3 risers, 2 risers, 1 riser is going to be a difficult step for a little old lady or somebody who has a physical challenge. They need to hold on to something. Imagine slipping right now. You can't grab onto anything. You're going to hit the ground. So I'm not a code inspector. Code says 4 steps. That's ridiculous. I'm a home inspector. I'm going to side on the safety of my client. I see 1, 2, 3 risers without a handrail. This is a defect. It's an easy fix. But actually, my client probably won't do it. Won't put a handrail here because it kind of messes up with the look of the deck. So my recommendations, remember, a seller doesn't have to do anything that I recommend, but it's my job to make recommendations. I want to take a picture of the inspection restriction. I can't get underneath this deck. So there could be a lot of things going on. I can't tell. All I know is that the surface is really aged. So I'm going to take some pictures of that. And the grading looks okay. I want the ground to be sloped away from the house. The ground is sloped away here. And we've got a lot of interesting stuff here. So this downspout from the roof above is discharging right next to the house foundation, and that's not good. We want this extended away. Ideally, it would be extended with a splash block or a downspout pipe. They're probably not going to follow my recommendations. That's okay, because imagine having a splash block here or a pipe here. It's just going to get in the way of all the fun gardening stuff that people do here. So ideally, you want water to be discharged away. In my head, I'm going to remember when I'm in the basement, I think there's a basement here, I'm going to look in this area and also that other downspout area to look for signs of water penetration. We got a gas meter, gas valve, pressure regulator. The rust is surfaced, no big deal. We need some sealant around there. Frost-free hose bibs, that's good. And that's it for the exterior. When you do the exterior, you bump into other systems like the air conditioner and the electrical. So let's do the electrical. I'm gonna take some photos of all these phone boxes. This is phone. This is a disconnect for something, I don't know. It's unlocked. Oh, it's a sprinkler system. I didn't see any. I'll take a look at the lawn irrigation system, but I bet it doesn't work. That's old phone and cable boxes. Here's the meter. I like to pull on it to see if it actually falls off the house. It shouldn't. Underground service line, that's in good shape. Sometimes the connection is bad and it should be locked. So we're good there. This is the electrical panel. It's unlocked. Maybe you're from the East Coast, so this is an odd thing to have an electrical panel on the outside unlocked, but some states are like this. And let me help you see what I see. So this is the dead front cover. Oh, I'll take a picture. This is a dead front cover. This is a Zinsco panel. I can tell by this type of breakers and the color of the breakers. This is the main disconnect group. So 3 throws, they call them, is good. But this is a Zinsco panel and there's no labeling, and this is a defect. Zinsco electrical panels have been recalled and they have inherent problems where the breaker is attached to the bus bar, and you can do some research on that. And the screws are missing at the panel, and you could take the dead front cover off or not. You're not required to, but I'm going to. Okay, again, you're not required to remove the dead front cover. It's a good idea not to. If you touch anything inside, you'll probably get electrocuted, and that's fatal. But I'm gonna take some pictures, and we have a defect, so this is great. We have a bee's nest inside. It's old, it's not active, but it really should be removed. And we have a lot of grounding wires that are not connected. It looks like they're just twisted together, and that's improper. You want a good grounding connection, and it's really loaded up. So we have multiple neutrals under single lugs. And I'm looking for big fat breakers on small gauge wires, and that all looks good. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with that, but I'm going to ask an electrician to come and take a look at that, because that is a defect, and those grounding wires are a defect, and multiple lugs are a defect. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on. I don't have screws to put the dead front cover back on, but I'll put that in the report. And if I have some extra screws in my tool bag, I'll just add them on, just for safety. All right, nice. Okay, let's go to the air conditioner system.
I'm near the electrical system, air conditioning system, and it's old. I bet it's original to the house, which is pretty amazing. So it's done a really good job. But I have a narrative in my report about old systems not being reliable, needing a lot of close monitoring, because an old system can fail at any moment, and a home inspection doesn't predict failures, future conditions, or future weather conditions, or future problems that might. It's not a prediction of future events. But if this thing turns on, we'll turn it on. That's great. But I'm going to tell my client, start budgeting for a new one. And if this is a real estate transaction, maybe negotiate. Okay, I don't like the clearance around the unit. It's supposed to be 3 feet from all sides, so this thing can breathe. There's a big fan moving a lot of air, and it needs a lot of space for circulation. The other thing is the label. I take pictures of every manufacturing label on the air conditioners, heating systems, hot water tanks, and if I can't read it, then that's 2 things. One, I can't help my clients determine more information about the unit, and I can't see the age of the unit. And also, just a worn out label means this unit is pretty old. The suction line, which is the large diameter line, this is liquid, this is suction, should be insulated, and it's not. So this insulation is in poor shape, and it looks like the whole thing needs to be replaced. That's pretty easy to do. Got some electrical lines here. One is an attachment here. Unfortunately, they put it here, so I can't see what's going on, and it's locked. But this looks like the utility company did something on the outside to help the homeowner save energy. It's a monitoring system. The fins need to be cleaned and serviced every year. And so the homeowner can do this with a gardening hose. They have a faucet here with a hose, and they can wash off the fins. And right now, the fins are clogged, dirty. And they usually clog a lot when there isn't a lot of space. So it's another reason to have a lot of space. But again, my recommendation probably isn't going to be followed because there's nowhere else to move this thing. The fence is right here. No one's going to move the fence because of property line problems. And so I'll just make the recommendation, and that's what we do as home inspectors. Some of our recommendations just aren't applicable to the real life situation that people go through, but we'll write the report anyways. Okay, so I'll turn that back on when we get to the thermostat inside. That is the backyard. I don't inspect fences, but if I see a defect on the fence, I'll put it in the report, just as courtesy. So here are my exterior pictures. We'll run through them real quick. Again, I'm picture happy. I hold my phone vertically, and with my thumb, I press the photo button. So it's going through all these pictures, and it's as fast as I can snap. So those pictures I will add later if my client wants me to add them, wants to wait for me to add them. I will set up my computer in the kitchen at the end of the inspection and just slide the pictures in. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm taking plenty of pictures. Not all of them are going to be in a report, but a lot of them will be, because my report is the best inspection marketing piece that I have. So I also do video. There's a few worn out areas of the exterior siding, but it's not too bad. Like by that window and down there by the window well window. It's GFCI receptacle because it's plugged into, I think, a gardening feature. Missing handrail at the exterior steps of the deck next to the air conditioner. There's 1, 2, 3 risers. The condition of the deck is in poor condition. I'm kind of concerned about this area with the flashing and the slider door, but there's a lot of cracked boards, splintered areas, and wood rot. Very old condition of the deck floorboards. A lot of cracking and poor surface. Old deck. Some major wood rot at the deck in some areas. At the rear deck, the space between the spindles is too far apart. Safety hazard. damaged window screen at the back. Missing window screen at the rear window well window. It was worn out. This is an old air conditioner unit at the end of its service life. Missing insulation at the refrigerant line. The airflow around the air conditioner unit is restricted due to the close proximity of the fence. The air conditioner system is estimated to be at least 20, 30 years old. It could be original to the house, which is beyond the service life expectancy. How high the main breaker panel is, it's a little difficult to reach. This is about 7 feet or so above the floor. The electrical panel is a Zinsco panel, so we need an electrician to come and inspect it further. Foreign material inside the electrical panel. Double neutrals, 2 neutral wires, white wires under the same lug, properly connected inside the main electrical panel. The Zinsco panel should be inspected by an electrician. No AFCI is installed at the old electrical panel. And just some still shots of the electrical panel interior. It doesn't open very well. The lock is damaged. There's some damaged areas, especially this area by the tree. The tree has grown and pushed on the old fence. And the fence in general is in poor condition in some areas. Let's go to the front of the house and do the exterior and the detached garage. What we can do is, the process is, remember, take a bunch of pictures, click, 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 and then go back to your report software, check the report narrative that has the defect description, and you're going to attach a video to that defect. And then at any moment during the inspection, you can show your client the summary and go over the summary with them. And also the key is at the end of the inspection, you can just send the summary. You're done. You're done with the inspection, you're done writing the inspection report. You've identified the defects, you've taken all the pictures. You've also attached the videos of those defects in the summary, which you can immediately send to your client. And later on, I'll show you how you can add photographs almost instantly, really quick, as many photographs as you want right into the report. So pictures, select narratives, attach a video to each narrative, and then you have a summary available immediately. And you can then later on put in a ton of photographs into your report. Okay, so let's keep going with the report and the inspection. All right, now we're in the front of the house, right next to the garage door of the detached garage. And we're going to do the inspection of the exterior, and then we'll hit the detached garage as well. Okay, so I've got my phone out, and basically, it's as fast as my thumb can snap pictures. So I'm gonna inspect the site and the environment and the landscaping, and basically that is falling over. The retaining wall is falling over. And just like the backyard, we have 1, 2, 3 risers without a handrail. So this is a defect, and I'll put my hand out just to remind myself that I'm talking about a graspable handrail. And we have a stone retaining wall, and it's starting to lean out a little bit as well. Retaining wall defect, so that's a defect. Looks like a part of the wooden retaining wall is missing. The walks, the steps, the detached downspout is not diverting water away from the structure. So I'll take a look at that on the inside, look for water penetration. So the grading is okay. It looks like it's in a lot of shade, so there isn't a lot of grass growing, but they use it to store their bikes. The handrail is not graspable for the front step, and the front steps, well, it's worn out. So these are worn out steps. The paint condition is worn out. And actually, so this and that And this brass, I can pick it up for you. I really can't. There's a pallet, there it is. So this sawdust comes from carpenter ants. So carpenter ants chew on wood and they spit it out. They don't eat it. And they throw it out of their holes. And their holes are like oval, long holes. And so they're inside and they'll chew galleries out back and forth in the wood, and they'll spit out or throw out the chewed up sawdust. So within the sawdust, if I could find it's probably too early to find a body part, but sometimes there's an ant body part, like a head. That'd be awesome to find. No. So that sawdust comes from one area, from bugs, and that's from damaged wood. So, oh yeah, there's more sawdust here. So we have wood destroying insect here, carpenter ants. Carpenter ants love rotten wood, and this wood is not pressure treated, because I can see like the ends are not pressure treated, and it's rotten. And I'm gonna get my screwdriver and see if I can find some wood rot. There's more carpenter ant damage. Oh, there's more carpenter ant damage. So it looks like it's moved around. So this is kind of fun to find rotten wood and damage. And so I just use my screwdriver and tap. And I'm using my ears because this sounds good, but when we move to the end, something rotten does not sound very good. It's a different sound. More sawdust here. So they're chewing up different areas of the deck. I'm going to make that as a recommendation. Non-graspable handrail, worn out, weathered out condition of the surface, and we have wood rot and carpenter ant infestation. Combine that with the defect on the roof and the exterior stuff that we found, the electrical defects, the old air conditioning system, the downspout stuff, the value that I'm providing for the price that I'm charging is overwhelming. So I'm feeling really good that I'm providing my client a ton of value for getting a home inspection. Okay, next it's the detached garage. So let's do that next. Okay, this is the detached garage, and from 10 feet away I could see some defects. So we have problems with the roof tile over there. That's actually, let me take some pictures. That's actually cracked and damaged. And we have a cracked and damaged tile here. We have exposed fasteners all along, and we have a missing gutter. So I'm going to combine these defects with the house roof defects, and that'll be really valuable for my client. On the back side of the detached garage, I don't like the grading, so I'm going to look for water penetration on the inside of the garage. And again, this downspout of the garage is not diverting water away from the garage structure. So I'm going to take a look on the inside. Okay, so this is an odd thing. Not many homes have it. It's a light sensor. If you don't know what this is, it's supposed to be connected to these light landscaping lights. So if it gets a little dark, the landscaping lights turn on. If you don't know what something is, just say you don't know to your client, and then you'll look it up later and you'll put it in a report if it's a problem. Security system. Again, we have missing handrail, but that's okay. And for any door or window, I do the same pattern. So bottom left, bottom right, top left, counterclockwise. So when I inspect a door, like a garage door, I'm going to get my tool and I'm going to tap for wood rot. There's some weathered paint there, some weathered paint there, and that's good. So these are areas where it usually rots out. So bottom, top, all looks good. Let's open the garage door. Let's take a look on the inside. First thing I do when I go to any garage, attached or detached, is I take a look at the floor. It has to be sloped away or towards the garage door itself. So I can tell with my eyes that it's sloped, but I actually have a slope app on my phone, and I can put it down and take a picture of the actual slope of the floor. So we are sloped, so that's good. Remember that downspout on the side? Not diverting water away? Well, right there is the downspout about, and we have a crack in the foundation and efflorescence. Now, efflorescence is white salt deposits left behind after concrete absorbs water and dries. So all along here is efflorescence, which is an indication of water penetration. So I'm gonna take a bunch of pictures of that. And we have a crack in the foundation that corresponds to a downspout location that's not diverting water away from the house. And we also have efflorescence up here. Oh, this is cool. So I took a bunch of pictures of that. I don't see water damage, so that's good. So the downspout could be diverting water away, further away from the house and foundation. This is a minor structural defect. This is a hairline crack. If you can imagine a quarter on edge, if you can stick a quarter inside it, that's a major structural movement. We don't want movement this way or displacement this way. And this is just a hairline. I'm not really concerned. Okay, what else in the detached garage? Ground faults. So looking for receptacles, wall receptacles. Every receptacle in a garage needs to be protected by a ground fault. So I'm going to get my ground fault tester. This is wired properly. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to test it. It's not testing. So this is a defect. And I'm going to cross my fingers just to remind me that's a problem. So all receptacles in a garage need to be protected by a ground fault. There's a missing gutter on the outside, remember? I don't see any problems on this side, but, whoops. But I'm going to take some pictures of the wall and the inspection restrictions. I mean, photo is worth 1,000 words. I'm going to take a picture of this because, boy, I would love to see the foundation, but I can't because it's all filled with all this stuff from the homeowner. So I'm going to make sure that I take pictures. I may not put those pictures in the report, but I'm going to certainly take pictures of the inspection restrictions. Next, garage door. So let's do a test of the garage door. Okay, there's basically 10 steps to do an inspection of the garage door. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through them real quick. The one thing I like to do is grab the detached, grab the red handle above and see if it detaches the door, and it does. I can see. I'll just pull it closed again. Nice. The garage door itself is plugged in, so that's good. The fastening is good. The rails look okay, but there's no labeling. So there should be a label on this opener, which is right here. And there should be a label on the door itself in these areas at the bottom. And at the photoelectric eyes, let's see if the photoelectric eyes work. Ready? They do. So all I do is put my foot through the beam. And the photoelectric eyes aren't supposed to be more than 6 inches above the floor. So they're good. This isn't more than 6 inches above the floor, so that's good. The rails are strong. I'm missing labels, but I'm really not concerned about that. The springs should have a safety wire through the middle of the spring, and I see that it's installed. So if you don't know how to inspect a garage door opener, InterNACHI has online courses on how to inspect a garage door opener. So I see the safety wire, so that's good. And the wheels look good, the rollers look good. Okay, I kind of like the garage door opener. It's doing well. There's one more thing I'd like to do, and I'm going to borrow something to help me with that. So let's try this. So why don't you step outside? And it's a non-contact auto reverse. Okay, the laser beam works. Let's do another one. This is contact. So that's a good test. So you just put something in the path on the floor, flat, and let the door hit it, and it's supposed to bounce up. I think that's it. There's no main electrical, the roof structure is truss built. I don't see any roof leaks. So that's it for that. But remember, we take our pictures and then we do video, and we put video in our report. So I'm gonna do video of the defects. Now, what are the defects? So at the downspout area, we have a foundation crack. It's a minor crack. That's not a structural problem, but we have efflorescence, which is an indication of water intrusion into the garage wall on the left side. So that's going to be in the report. Anything else? GFCIs. All receptacles in the garage need to be GFCI protected, and this one is not. That's a defect. Any others? I think that's it. Let's do the exterior now. Video this time. Retaining wall is leaning over. Missing handrail at the front steps. Defect at the retaining wall there. Downspout is not diverting water away from the house or the detached garage. Detached garage defects at the tile roof sections where there's missing sections, the fasteners are exposed, and there's a missing gutter. Poor condition of the front porch, no graspable handrail, and carpenter ant damage. All right, well, we're at the heating system. We have an old air conditioner on the outside, but the heating system here is relatively new. And it's a gas-fired heating system. And according to the standards of practice, we are to use normal operating controls. So that means the thermostat upstairs. So I'm gonna kick on the thermostat. And there's a service switch above my head, so I can use the service switch as well. And I'm gonna take a look at the burners, the burner chamber, and I'm looking for the air filter. If my client was with me, I would show them where the air filter is located, which is right in here somewhere. And to get to the air filter, it's right here. And this one is a little dusty, but it's not that bad. So it needs to be serviced and cleaned, which means replaced. It's a disposable air filter every 30 days. The system itself, the heating system itself, needs to be serviced and cleaned every year. And what I do is I don't guess, I just look for the service tag, and I actually don't see a service tag. So what I'm going to do is recommend that this unit be serviced and cleaned prior to closing if this is a real estate transaction, or every year as part of a homeowner's routine maintenance plan. This is a mid-efficiency unit, so I get to see the burners. If you can touch the burners, it's not high efficiency. So if you can touch the burners, which I can, I'm touching them now, that means mid-efficiency. Low efficiency is natural draft. It wouldn't have a fan. So this one has a draft inducer fan, so that's mid-efficiency. and the heating system exhaust gases go up into the chimney stack, and we have that defect on the top where the roof is. Okay, the only thing I see is delayed maintenance because there's dirt and dust, and there's also a separation in the ductwork. So I can stick my hand in here and touch my fingers. So this needs to be sealed up. We're losing energy. So conditioned air, warm or cooled air, is escaping this ductwork area. And this could be easily sealed up in order to make the unit operate more efficient. So I'm gonna put the panels back. I'm gonna turn on the air conditioning and the heating just for a brief moment, just to see it cycle through. And that's all I need to do. I'm not taking temperature of the intake and out. I'm not doing a delta T measurement or anything like that. What else is attached to the system? Well, we have a humidifier, not in all countries, but in all climates, but in some climates where it's kind of dry, like Colorado, you want a humidifier to turn on during the winter time to humidify the winter dry air. And then there's the gas shutoff here, shut-off switch above, and it's ductwork. So I'm going to take a look at every room that's livable should have a supply register, and I'm going to look at the return registers as well. And that's pretty much a basic inspection of the HVAC system. So that's only a few seconds. I'm going to take some pictures to put in the report, and I'm just going to snap away. I'm going to take a picture of the system here, and that's the vent pipe, the electric shutoff switch, and the gas shutoff switch, and the humidifier. But my recommendation is to not just get service and clean, but to do the ductwork sealant there. All right, let's go to the hot water source. So we're at the hot water source. This is a hot water tank. It fills up with water, heats it up from the flames below, and what I'm going to do is run water at all the fixtures, and I'm going to make sure all the fixtures have hot water. But there's a couple components I like to inspect when looking at the hot water tank, and this is a FEIR, flame resistance, vapor resistant, ignition resistant, unit. So it collapses if it senses that there's something wrong with the flame below. I'm going to take a picture of the valve and its setting. I'm not going to touch the setting. There's the gas shutoff valve and the TPR discharge pipe extended to the drain in the floor. So that's good. And it's a natural draft. And that natural draft pipe goes up this same chimney stack. And there's some valves, cold water shutoff valves. And the main water shutoff valve actually is hidden back here. So this is the location of the main water shutoff valve back here. So I'll take a picture of that. And for any water valves, I like to rub my hand underneath them to see if it's leaking. If it's leaking, it'll be wet. So I'm gonna make sure, let's see what I have here. And it's wet. So we have a drip at the main water shutoff valve. And that's a call for a plumber. So we have a lot of recommendations where professionals are needed, from electricians to plumbers to HVAC to roof. So this is really good inspection. All right, that's it for the HVAC and the hot water source and the water valve, which is leaking. Now I go back to doing video. I'm going to put video in my summary. So for the HVAC system, it's basically a couple seconds. Delayed maintenance at the HVAC system, and we need to seal up that ductwork. Now for the hot water source, I don't have any defects for the hot water source, but behind the hot water source, we have a main water shutoff valve. Main water shutoff valve is leaking. So the video will be part of the summary. And that's it for this. Okay, let's move on. So I'm doing the interior. Now, according to the standards of practice, there's a lot of representative number of things. Representative number of doors, representative number of windows, representative number of wall receptacles. floors and ceilings and things like that. So I'm just going to go around in each room, pick one wall receptacle and test it to see what happens. And I'm going to use my little GFCI tester because I already know from the electrical panel there are no AFCI circuits. So this is properly wired. So this is good. I'm going to take a picture of that. And then smoke detectors. So I'm going to try to find all the smoke detectors, but I'm required to comment upon absence of detectors. So I'm going to test this. Hold your ears. So that works, and it's battery backup. Representative number of windows. Here's a window, and I'm in the basement, and I'm going to work my way around the house. But this is an egress window, actually. This is a bedroom. A livable space, and it can't be more than 44 inches above the floor. Now, that's what code says, and again, we're not code inspectors, but you can use your software on your mobile device to help you remember, is it 42 inches or 44 inches? And it's actually 44 inches. So this is too high, actually. So this is a bit of a code violation, but it's an older home. And real estate agents and other professionals will say, well, it's grandfathered. Well, I actually don't care about that word, grandfathering. I inspect a home regardless of the home age. So if there's a defect like missing GFCI protection in the bathroom, that's a relatively modern thing. 100 years ago, GFCIs didn't even exist. I'm going to comment upon that defect. This is another defect, where firemen coming in to rescue can't be falling because this is too high. People wanting to escape out can't have this too high. So this is a defect, and I'm going to call it out. Just like the spindles of the railing that are above here through the window, the space is too far. Children can fall through and then really hurt themselves in the window well. So if it's a defect, call it out. Don't pull any punches. And I'm going to call this out as a defect. But again, I don't think my recommendation is going to have any actual impact on the home. They probably won't fix this, but I want it in the report anyways. Okay, let's keep going. So we have a fireplace. It's a factory built fireplace. It's not masonry built. And according to the standards of practice, if you have a fireplace, you have to inspect the damper door. And the damper door, oh, it's not a handle, it's a chain. That's good. And then, yep, that works. So it's been used. A chimney should be swept by a certified chimney sweep every year. So I'm going to add that in my report. And the flue, I'm just going to take a picture up, and that worked. And then the firewalls or the panels, I'm going to check for warping or cracking, and I don't see any, so that's good. And the clearance looks okay, but I can check that. And the surround and the lintel all looks good. So I don't have any defects with the fireplace, except that it needs to be serviced and cleaned. Good. All right, so let's hit the bathroom. Okay, so this is the bathroom. One of 3 bathrooms. So each bathroom has the same inspection process that I do. I run water, flush the toilet, and I run the shower in the tub. So that's what I'm going to do, and take pictures while I'm doing it. So let me take a picture here. All right, so I'm going to run hot and cold water. Let that run, and then grab my flashlight and see if there's any water leaks. And I'm going to use the bottom of my hand to see if there's any water leaks coming from the valve, like we had at the main water shutoff valve downstairs. Nope. And it's hot water, so that's good. GFCI, protection for all bathroom receptacles. So GFCI protection for all bathroom receptacles. And that works. And it resets right there. So that's good. Toilet flush. Flush the toilet. Use the side of my leg to see if it moves on the floor. If it does, that's a defect, and it's not. There's a shut-off valve. That looks good. And then the tub and shower. So I'm running the shower at the same time that I'm running the water at the sink and flushing the toilet, and then looking at the shower head one more time to make sure that there's adequate flow coming out of the shower. So all that looks good. It's basically trying to make it fail. You turn on all the fixtures at the sink, you flush the toilet so it's refilling, and then you turn on the shower head to see if it works. And everything's working really well. The tub stopper works. The tiles, I pounded on the walls. I used my hand to grab the soap dish. So everything's working well. Bathroom exhaust, we know that it goes into the attic space, and that's a defect. All bathroom exhaust should terminate outside. The surface condition is good. The floor, I'll move the carpet to see the tile, and the door is a little scratched up, maybe from a pet. And that's about it. Okay, so that's the bathroom. So we're in the attic space. Another dangerous place when there isn't a floor, so be careful. You don't really have to enter any attic space that doesn't have a floor. And you want to protect yourself. So I've got my personal protection equipment with me, but I'm not going to use it so you can hear me. And what I want to do is approximate the depth or thickness of the insulation. And in some areas, it's really thin. And some of it is missing in areas. And I'll take a picture of that and put it in the report and you'll see it. So that's one defect that I see, that the insulation thickness varies a lot, from only a few inches thick and absent areas to thick insulation. That's good. The roof is truss built. I'm going to identify the structure of the roof and look for roof leaks. Remember that chimney stack defect? Well, that's way over there. Can't see anything. I'll shine my flashlight to see if I can see something from my vantage point, but I'm not moving any more than this. And I also see a couple of other defects. All bathroom exhaust fans should terminate outside. And I see 1, 2, it's probably the second floor bathroom and master bathroom exhaust fans that are blowing into the insulation. So that's a minor defect. We'll probably need a contractor to help us out with that. And I'll take a look around with my flashlight to look for structural problems. I don't want any modified trusses, and I'm gonna look for roof leaks. Those are my 2 concerns. And anything else that pops up and the insulation. And we have a house fan here, and I'll take a picture of that as well. But the insulation is the main concern. All right, so I'll take pictures now and put that in the report. So we are inspecting the interior staircase, and there should be a handrail for all the steps. So right here, there isn't a handrail that goes with the steps. There's a handrail up here. It's really a guard up here, but there isn't anything to hold on to here. And also, as I turn the corner from this landing, there isn't anything from here until way down there. So that's not good. So we're missing a handrail. The second thing is, I'll take a picture of that, missing a handrail. And the second thing is the space between the spindles is too far apart. It's large enough for a child to fall through. And code, standard building practices require that the space be smaller. And someone may say, well, that it's grandfathered because it's an older home, but I inspect a home without any regard to the date or the age of the home. So this is a safety feature, it's a defect, and I'm gonna put it in the report. Let me show you what the software looks like so you can write your report on the fly. So I have all those things, doors, windows, switches, floors, etc. And I'm on switches and fixtures, and I'm going to floors next. And I click that I inspected the floors, walls, and ceilings. And I really don't have any defects. Next is stairs. And next is railings, guards, and handrails. And we know that we have a missing handrail and a guard problem. So I inspected the guards, click that. Here's the defect list. And I'm going to choose my defect and attach a video to it so that it can appear in the summary. So I click the defect, and there's my button for the video. There's a missing handrail at the interior steps. There's a few steps here that simply do not have a handrail as you go down. And as you turn, there's no handrail. And so that's the video, and the software tells me it's in that section there. And we have another defect. It's that space between the spindles is too far apart at the stair guard opening. So I click that, and I click the button to add a video. So it pops into the summary. The stair guard is too far apart in between the spindles. Nice short video. And I keep moving on. So next is smoke detectors. And at the top, I can remind myself about some standards for smoke detectors. So I look really smart, and that helps me write a really good report. So imagine that I'm at the kitchen table on site right after the inspection, or I'm back at the office. And what I want to do is create a really nice looking inspection report, and with pictures and video. So remember, I had my camera, and I was taking pictures and video during the inspection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull those pictures and video off of my camera into a folder on my computer. And so I'll take those pictures and pull them into the software. So that's one of the tips to create an inspection report. It's simply drag and dropping, pulling it off of your camera and throwing it into the software so that your reports are really robust and they look great with pictures and video. But it's got to be quick. I need to manage my time, and if I'm on site doing this and my client wants to wait for the entire report, I'll do it, but it can only be just for a few more minutes because I've got to get to the next job. And I don't want to write inspection reports at night. So it's all about being quick. Taking pictures really quick, taking videos really quick, and sticking them in the narrative just where you want them, and having a summary ready, and then throwing some pictures into the report as quick as possible. All right, so let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so here is all of the pictures from my inspection that I pulled on my camera. And here I dragged and dropped them into a folder on my computer, on my laptop. And here's the software that I'm using. And we could take a look at the software right now, actually, the report. So here's what the report looks like. Viewing the full report, I inspected almost 100 things, but I'm not done with the report. 14 minor defects, 38 major defects, and no material defects. Here's the summary. All those pictures and videos, lots of videos, right? And some of the pictures we threw in. So this is a really nice summary of all the problems in the home. That's excellent. Okay, now the report itself, the full report. Oh, it's chopped up into sections here, like tabs. So I have limitations, So here's a video that I recommend. It's another inspection tip for report writing. Just shoot a video about why it's important for your client to attend. Did not attend. We invited the client to attend their home inspection. Unfortunately, the client did not attend the home inspection. So I put that video in my inspection report, every inspection report where my client doesn't attend. And there's the standards of practice. And then let's get it into the report itself. So it looks like that. I have another video about how important it is to read your home maintenance book. Here's another one about scheduling an annual home inspection. Here's the buyback guarantee. Here's the roof and all the pictures there. That's pretty good. There's some illustrations. Another good tip to make your report look really nice is to add illustrations, and that's from InterNACHI's gallery. And so pictures are worth 1,000 words, right? And video is really incredible. These pictures are just the pictures that I took quickly during the inspection. They're not identifying defects. The ones that are major material defects or major defects, those are the videos, right? So these are the problems. So the video helps with the defects. Now let's say I wanted to add pictures, right? So because the report looks really good. So let's add some pictures to, oh, I don't know, let's go to the, how about the bathrooms? I flushed all the toilets, so that's one of the things. On my phone, you'll see bathroom toilets, sinks and tubs and showers, the exhaust fan, the GFCI, all these things I have to inspect in every bathroom. But let's say I flushed all the toilets. Well, I'm going to go back to my pictures, right? And these aren't the toilets, but I'm going to pick this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and I'm going to drag them into where my bathroom is. There they are, bam. I mean, that's fast. And that's now going to be in the report. GFCIs. Let's see if I wanted to have some GFCI pictures. So I just, where's my GFCI pictures? Well, let's say there's 2 of them. I just grab it in there, boom. And then let's see the heat source. Let's say there's a heat source in the bathroom. There wasn't, but let's say there's a problem. Well, I had 4 pictures. I was just drag and drop them. Now you can see, right, that this is going to be a really good report. And one of the best marketing pieces that you can create is a fantastic home inspection report. So let's say there's the steps, right? And we had, the railings and guards. Remember inspecting the railings and guards, and we had problems with space between the spindles? Well, I added an illustration as well. What if I wanted to add some additional photos? But let's say there, 4 pictures, right? Slam. That is really fast. Now it looks really beautiful, right? It's got extra pictures in there. Let's take a look at the report. And let's jump down to bathrooms. There's the bathrooms. Remember, I threw in any kind of picture, but these are your bathroom toilet pictures, right? There's some GFCI pictures, and there's some heat source pictures. And it looks really beautiful. That is a beautiful looking inspection report filled with a lot of videos and pictures. We're in the kitchen, and this is actually where I like to end the inspection so that I can go over the summary with my clients and maybe go over some other things like any kind of agreements that we need to pass out or home maintenance books and things like that. I'll show that to you. So every kitchen, I do the same thing. I start with a stove. So I'll turn on everything and make sure everything just turns on. I'm not an expert in any appliance. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look to see if everything's turning on. Everything's turning on. So I don't want to cook anything. And be careful. So that's turning on. Wait for this to turn on. Yep. Okay. I don't want to burn my hand. Done. Done. Don't leave the stove and oven without turning everything off. You don't want to have somebody come home with an oven that's on 450. The microwave, you can get out your microwave detector and see if it turns on. But what I like to do is I like to get a wet rag, I'm just going to borrow a rag. In about 10 seconds or so, and see if it warms up. I just want to see, this is my basic test, to see if the microwave warms up, this wet rag here. Yep, and it does. So I know it works. I don't know if it's going to cook eggs or anything, but it's certainly going to pass that test. So I want to make sure that is in my report. GFCIs, all counter receptacles need to be GFCI protected. So I'm going to get my tester out, and that's wired properly. I'll test it, and it pops off. I'll reset it, so we're good to go. So that worked. And I'm going to run water at the sink, hot and cold. I have a garbage disposal. That's at there. And also have a dishwasher. And I'll run a short cycle. And I'll just let that run. And if it happens to leak while I'm here, oh, that's fantastic. But I just want to make sure it turns on, runs, and it doesn't leak. And I'm going to take a picture of the inspection restrictions underneath the sink, and then get out my flashlight and make sure that nothing is leaking. Garbage disposal wire is attached, that's good. Drain traps are good. I don't see any water leaks. I see the valves, so everything's okay in there. No leaks. And I hear the dishwasher running. And the interior of the kitchen is the same as the interior of the entire house, representative number of windows. So I'll open up and close a window. So that's good. The surface of the kitchen is good. The ceiling is good. The cabinets, I'm not going to do all the cabinets, but I'll do a representative number of cabinets. The countertops, really nice countertops. They look good. The front edge is always the place where you can feel some imperfections, but if nothing is majorly damaged, I'm not going to call it out. So we're good in the kitchen. Now, here's where I end the inspection by going over the report summary, which is on my phone, and I'll show you that. But also, if you wanted to print out a report, you can put it in a binder. And InterNACHI has a home maintenance book. You can include that in the binder. And also other things like while I'm here marketing, it helps you sell ancillary services while you're here. So this is while I'm here, I can do an energy report for you. Also have inside here a letter for the home owner saying that I try to keep your house clean, I put everything back, and also we leave a little lunchbox for the homeowner so that when they come back, we tell them that we really appreciated being in their home and to look inside this lunchbox for a gift from your home inspector. And you can put anything you want in there. All right, so just a few ideas, some tips for you for writing an inspection report. Don't use no visible evidence. Don't say those words, don't write those words down. Somebody could debate with you in court on whether the evidence was visible or not. And don't use the word evidence, because evidence conveys that it's a permanent condition. So what you want to say is, and we know as home inspectors, the condition of a home changes from day to day. Almost immediately after you leave the inspection site, the condition of the home changes. So say things like, I observed this defect during my inspection, right? So you want to write in past tense as well, because when someone is reading the report and it's written in present tense, they may be reading it 3 months, 6 months, 1 year after you perform an inspection. But if it's written in the past tense, that helps you set the expectations and confirm and ensure that my inspection was done in the past, right? And now the condition of the home could be very different. In every report, add some illustrations, and that's at nachi.org/gallery. You can download some really great illustrations to add in every report. And in every report, you should have some videos of yourself talking about how to maintain your home, how to change the air filter, how to clean the gutters, or the importance of cleaning the gutters. So have some explanatory videos for your clients that always go in your inspection report. And if you wanted some home inspection report samples, we have several to choose from. You can look at other inspection reports and compare what you're creating to what certified master inspectors and certified professional inspectors are writing. So we have a web page just for that, checking out home inspection report samples. And we also have inspection report classes, how to write an inspection report. And those are videos you can watch of previous classes that we've had on how to write an inspection report. And we also have inspection checklists, inspection report checklists. So you can add checklists and standards and reminders to your software so that you can simply not remember how to, for example, the 10 steps to inspect the garage door opener. Remember that in the video? You can simply follow the checklist that you have in your hand and perform inspections. It helps reduce liability as well. When you have your inspection checklists and your software in your hand and you're performing inspections, you make fewer mistakes. So those are some last tips that I have for you. So that's my inspection. That's how I perform a home inspection, and that's how I write an inspection report. So feel free to contact me at InterNACHI. My name is Ben Gromicko from InterNACHI. Hope you enjoyed the inspection, and if you have any questions, I'm always available. Stay safe out there. Bye.
So I hope you found that valuable, going through a home inspection with me as I take pictures, videos, and write the inspection report. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. We have Tim. He has some really good advice. He said that I would like to state that setting up a deck, setting up a ladder on a deck is not a good idea. Not a good idea. He says, I have been an insurance adjuster for 11 years and inspected over 7,000 roofs. I have had the ladder fall 3 times while climbing, and every time it has been on a deck. The ladder is on the deck. I try to avoid deck setup at all costs and will only set up on a deck if there's someone to hold the ladder. Yep. Setting on the soil where you can get the ladder spikes is always preferred location. I agree. I absolutely agree. I think using a ladder is just dangerous. I've used it for just about all my life as a home builder before being on home inspection, but really that doesn't mean I should be doing stupid things with the ladder. So setting the ladder on it's really a judgment call. What you feel is going to be really safe for you, that's really important. I sometimes turn the feet so that the spikes are in the deck or in the ground, and using what you said, the ladder spikes is a really great idea. It's probably the worst time during the inspection. But once you're up there, it's really great because you usually see defects that you wouldn't be able to see otherwise. That's why I like drones and maybe a wireless camera, a Bluetooth camera on a stick. That's really good too. You got to check out that roof somehow. Let me see. What other? Tell me you addressed the, Jeffrey picks out that I didn't address the extension cord defect. There are a bunch of things that I didn't do during the inspection. Kind of took some liberties of kind of being real quick with the inspection itself and kind of focusing on the combination of doing an inspection and writing a report. If you don't have your, Jeff asks, if you don't have your wood destroying insect license, how do you describe the porch steps condition? So most states, if not all states, I think all states in the United States regulate pesticide applicators. And some states recognize that home inspectors are performing home inspections and they're not spraying pesticide. So like Florida, you can actually perform an inspection looking for things that destroy wood during your home inspection, but you're not allowed to say that you are a licensed termite inspector. There are some restrictions. And some, like in Pennsylvania, you had to be licensed. But what I did was I used InterNACHI's wood destroying organism resources and a checklist that I sold to my client, because if my client wanted to know if there's anything destroying the wood structure of the home, that's what I performed. I performed that type of inspection. I don't care if it was mold, water, carpenter ants, carpenter bees, termites, anything that destroys wood, I'm taking a look for it and I'll put it in the report. And I sold that separate as a separate inspection and a report. And I always recommended contacting a state licensed certified pest applicator to do any identification of wood destroying insects. Because I was just a home inspector. I'm not an entomologist. I'm not there to identify the bug, but I'm there to look for anything that destroys the wood structure of the home. Is it possible to upload and update the InterNACHI template, the one you're using in this presentation, to Spectora? I'm going to release the template that I created using the software. I've used all kinds of software in the past. This one, I try to learn all of the software. Spectora, I'm still learning how to use it, and I'm going to try to figure out how to release my template through the Spectora software community within Spectora website. So I'm not sure how that's going to work, but that's what I'm going to do. Let's see, are you supposed to name the damage as carpenter ants? Right, so we just talked about that, Jeff. You're probably really safe in not identifying the bug. I got this thing for identifying termites and carpenter ants and carpenter bees. I'm pretty good at it. Plus that wood destroying organism field guide really helps you out. But careful, because if you're wrong with the bug, then that's not very good. So as a home inspector, I like to just stay within the scope of a home inspection. And during a home inspection, I feel free to look for anything that destroys wood. And so if it's a bug or an insect, I'll say that. When checking the furnace or AC, do you take pictures of labels? Yes, I take a picture of every label on any appliance that I can, even the dishwasher on the side of the door, the air conditioner unit, the hot water source, things like that. Did I just hear the smoke detector bell chime? Yeah, so we had some fun during the video. Should you take a picture with a measuring tape to show rails that are too far apart? Yeah, and also InterNACHI has spheres made out of foam. There are the 6-inch sphere and 4-inch sphere and 4 3/8 sphere. You can use that as a picture, or use a measuring tape. In the picture, I use the measuring tape a lot. It's a heck of a lot easier just to use your finger and just say it's more than 4 inches apart at the guard. Let's see. Carrie says, what legal paperwork should every client sign before and after an inspection? There's two that come to mind. One, you don't step on any property until you get the inspection agreement, the contract between the home inspector and the home inspector's client signed. And you can do that through InterNACHI's free online agreement system. We have a lot of templates, fully customizable. You can send your client the agreement as soon as you, on the phone, schedule the appointment, put in the details, customize it a little bit, and then send it out, and your client can actually get it on their mobile device and sign with their finger and send it right back to you, and you can manage all that through your InterNACHI members only account. The other legal document that comes to mind for after the inspection is a customer survey, and it's got to be immediate. So there are various ways to do that. I mean, you can go to an online survey like what's that, monkeysurvey.com or something like that, or Constant Contact has surveys, or you can mail something. We did handwritten ones, and it's a legal document because it documents your clients' satisfaction with your service right after you perform that service. And it helps people remind themselves, right, what they thought of you right after the inspection, right? And when things may change months down the road, you can always refer to that survey that they filled out, that they thought you were thorough during the inspection and that they valued, or, you know, there's a couple questions you want to ask a client so that months down the road, if they ever say, well, you didn't find this, you know, they have that survey. Oh, I don't think he did a good job. She didn't even check that. And, you know, the survey will help you in defense to remind your client that they actually loved that inspection. What software am I using? That's Spectora. I was using during this webinar. I've used other software as well. Where did you get the wood destroying organism book? It looks very handy. Go to inspectoroutlet.com. What were your brand of shoes? Outside shoes? I don't know. What brand of flashlight? Wish I had my flashlight. The flashlight is on inspectoroutlet.com as well, and it's an LED. No, I don't have my inspection bag in my webinar room. It's an high-powered, high lumens LED light, and they are amazing, especially the ones with rechargeable batteries. Fantastic. So go to inspectoroutlet.com. That's InterNACHI's e-commerce partner. How do you send the report to the clients once it's finished? Okay, so this is the new thing, I guess. Spectora, you could send the PDF. It converts a PDF, but this software and a lot of cloud-based software, now the reports are in the cloud because you have video. I mean, that's the trend. I see in a few years, 5 years, that the reports are going to be video-based because you can pull a transcript from your video if you wanted to and print out the text of what you said in the video. That's what Google does right now. So to have video-based reports or reports that have video content in it, it has to be in the cloud, has to be online, has to be sent by a link. So what you do is at the end of the report, you just click a button essentially, and your client gets a link to view the report. And some software is clumsy with username and passwords. I don't think Spectora has a username and password problem. It's like a protected unique link. So they just click it and they get right into the report, and they can view the report on any device. And the report is online. They can play all the videos. And actually, oh, let me show you. Let's see, do I have? There it is. So here's the video. Here's the report that your client would see. And here's some information, like here's the inspector, and there's Mary Really from Really Realty as the agent. And there's the things that I inspected. And so here's the report, right? And your client can go over the report, but what they really want is the summary. Are there any material defects? There actually aren't, so nothing pops up, right? But what's the summary? Summary is all video, and you can play the videos right there. And there's also in this software, I think it's unique, it's a repair request builder. And what you do is your client can go through all the things that need to be repaired and select the ones that, oh, I got to do this, and then it's $500, let's say. And so you could negotiate for the cost of certain repairs. Not everything needs to be fixed, but you can identify the ones that you want fixed and for a certain amount, right? And then negotiate up here. So that's kind of a neat kind of thing that comes with the software. And I just really love the summary being video based. No one reads anymore. It's true, no one reads anymore. No one's going to read your entire inspection report, blah, blah, blah. There's big paragraphs of words describing what a composition asphalt shingle is. No one cares. No one really cares. So what my clients value is a concise list of things that have to be fixed. So, and everyone loves to watch YouTube. So That's what I'm suggesting. This is not a requirement. I'm just sharing what I do. I actually still do home inspections. Usually a camera is following me. And then YouTube videos or videos within your report, I think that's the new thing. And that is a way to distinguish yourself from the rest of your competition. And if you can do that, if you can distinguish yourself from the rest of the competition, you're actually providing value. This is a great value. A new way of communicating your observations during an inspection report adds value to your services. And the more value you provide, the higher fees you can demand. If you wanted to convert this online report, which has videos, into a PDF, there's that option there. So you just click PDF and the summary, here's the summary PDF, looks like that, right? And wherever there's a video, remember that video? It just says video. And then, but that's okay because your narrative says what's really important. I observed a defect at the chimney flashing prone to water leaking at this area. That was your narrative. That was your sentence. That was your observation in text, in written form. Your recommendation is there too. Recommend a chimney contractor. And the video is kind of like icing on the cake. But remember, it was really valuable to have that video summary immediately available after the inspection. And here's the entire report. It's huge. It's just, there's all the defects there and they're categorized. And there's the introductory information. There's all those pictures, right? And just goes on and on and on. This, I really believe no one's going to read this report like this. It's just too much to read. What they really want is the summary on their phone and they've watched the videos. So that's my big tip for you. Let's see. I noticed there was no mention of confined space where the water. Yeah, this webinar and this video of me performing an inspection was not how to perform an inspection. How to perform an inspection training videos, they're usually about 5 hours long, right? We get into the details, especially of the standards of practice. We'll go through step by step. That's not what this was about. There's a lot of what is it? Creative liberty. What do you do with all the pictures of your phone after you transfer to PC, delete, upload to cloud, save? So every picture that you take using the software, integrated with the software, is saved within your online report. But every picture that I take with my iPhone, I don't know how it is with Droids and other things, but I have an iPhoto app, and it saves everything, all the pictures and all the video. And I can just grab it. It also categorizes it by the time. So I can grab today's inspections and just throw them into a folder. And then the folder name is kind of like today would be 2009 06 06 because it's June 6th 01 B for me if I had multiple inspectors. And I'd throw all those pictures and videos into a file folder and save them forever on my computer. I trust the software company to hold my stuff, but I'm going to actually download everything as well. And it's automatic when you take pictures. I don't know how your phone works, but when I take a picture with an iPhone, it actually automatically goes into my iPhoto app. I also have Google Photos. So when I take a picture on my iPhone, it automatically goes into Google Photos as well. So I have a bunch of backups actually. And I take a ton of pictures, and I showed you how to pull a lot of pictures into a report while you're at the kitchen table or later at the office if you wanted to. And not everything has to go in there because the most important stuff has already been popped in, right? The summary videos. So it's a different approach to writing an inspection report. You may not like shooting videos at all, and that's okay. But I just wanted to share with you what I do. The TPR extension pipe wasn't very good. The chimney cricket, not good. That's all right. So I think we have a lot of InterNACHI certified home inspectors criticizing that I missed a few defects in the video. Absolutely. I wasn't inspecting the house thoroughly. I was just producing a report so that I can show you how do I go from inspection process to report writing. So we'll go back to that townhouse and do a thorough inspection. Let's see. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. You mentioned Horizon. Dan says, you mentioned Horizon software. That's what I use, and I really like it. How does it compare with Spectora? I haven't gotten to Horizon. Horizon, John and Ragul from Horizon, by Carson Dunlop, Horizon Inspection Software, did a webinar with us yesterday, June 5th. It's on NACHI TV, NACHI.tv. Go to the software tab and watch the 45-minute webinar. It's a really good software. It looks like it's very easy to use. It has some email automation and scheduling and online booking, which I really love. And the tabs are nice and it's easy to read. I don't know much about it, but the webinar convinced me that it's one of the other pieces of software out there that's good. And a lot of people use it. When do you recommend that the hot water tank be changed? And yeah, I'm not going to go over home inspection technical questions. Is the Spectora program software used online only? If so, what happens? What have you entered when you slip in and out of coverage range? Right, so these technical questions of the software, I don't know. I'm just learning it myself. This is one of the softwares I use. I've used Home Gauge. I think you may have seen me do mold inspections using Home Gauge. Home Inspector Pro I've used a lot. That's amazing. I mean, Home Inspector Pro was the first one to have the feature of uploading hundreds of digital pictures instantly into the software. It was really good. If a client wants a hard copy only, how will that, right? So we showed you how this software has a PDF button right there, and the PDF is kind of cool. Are there other webinars on report writing software? Yep, and we talked about going to the 15 steps on nachi.org/everything. So you go to nachi.org/everything and go to step 12, and that'll take you to some report writing resources. Step 12 is, oh, I'm sorry, step 11. Step 11 is right there. So all of these resources are available to you. We actually have a defect recognition and report writing online course, free and online, open to everyone. Can you email us your complete inspection template for? Yep, I'm gonna, Roger, I'm going to release my template through Spectora if I can figure out how to do it. Do you ask your clients if they require a paper report up front? It doesn't matter because you can convert any online, you should be, hopefully your software can convert any online report, even with video, into a PDF. Do you have general contractors, HVAC plumbers, electricians you refer people to if they ask? I don't. I never have. I like to remain a neutral third-party professional who's not influenced by that, right? If I start finding defects, like there are home energy raiders out there who will actually pull up in a truck filled with windows and insulation, perform a home energy inspection, and make recommendations written that they need more insulation and new windows. You know, I think there's a conflict of interest there. So I don't pull up in a contractor. I don't own a company, a contracting company. I'm totally focused as a third-party neutral professional. And you have to be if you want to be considered trustworthy, right, and unbiased. So if you start making recommendations and then you say, hey, my cousin has a HVAC company right down the road and they give discounts to my clients, yeah, I don't think that's a good position you want to be in. The InterNACHI Code of Ethics prevents that kind of bias as well. You better know how to communicate if you're going to add video, Eric says. I don't think so. Sorry, I think I understand what you're saying, but YouTube is filled with informal videos that are taken on the fly, and people understand them. People enjoy watching them, and home inspectors are now getting into it. Home inspectors should have Instagram accounts where you do a quick video, a Facebook account where you do a quick video. What do you put on Facebook? You do a quick video, upload your videos. People don't read anymore. Stop doing those pictures with the text on them. I want to see a video. I can blow through a bunch of videos and enjoy myself and find a home inspector who apparently is doing amazing work finding defects that only that home inspector does and can communicate in a format that I enjoy, video, right? So we're in a trend now where things are starting to communicate by video. So you might as well get on top of that wave and ride it. Or in front of that wave, I don't know what the phrase is. And so you don't have to be a professional communicator. I'm not, I certainly am not, but I highly value watching videos that are informally made. A couple of things. Do you recommend taking photos of the inspecting at the time at your inspection? Yep. So Erica, during the video that webinar that we just had, I think I took 250 pictures, and all of them are saved. Most of them are shared through the online report and also the PDF. All right, those are good questions. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our free webinar on NACHI TV, 10 tips for writing great inspection reports. I'm Ben Gromicko from InterNACHI. I'll see you later. See you in the next class. Bye.